Like we were right, it's hit the fan. So let's dive in and talk about it.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. You know what I've been forgetting to use lately? I've been forgetting the Christmas outro. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. And F you to all you socialist, Democrat, communist, fascist types out there. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. That's right, where you get the real deal, folks, on what is really going on, and you get to use your real brain to come up with the thing that you think is most real, what is most believable, what is most likely, what makes the most sense. Every time I listen to something in the mainstream media, every time I read something on the internet, it doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Or maybe this much truth and fact, and that much lies and bullshit. In fact, in case you haven't noticed, think about it. Anytime facts or philosophical truths are exposed, what do leftists do? They get triggered, do they not? They throw a fucking fit. They go off and have hysterical fits of histrionics and lies. They're just incredible dunderheads. Anyways, there's someone doing that right now down in the country of Argentina. Javier Milei. I still cannot say his name right. He has gotten rid of the BS, the baloney, and he's given them the shock of capitalism. Right? Their economy is destroyed, devastated, wiped out, crushed, because of socialist corruption and government lies. And he is going to continue to shock them with Austrian economic fundamental principles. So they're on their way. Hopefully he continues. Hopefully he continues to dismantle the bureaucracy and rein in government spending. And I sure hope President Trump pays close attention to the effects. I want to ask you a serious question. Do you hate taxes? My answer is yes. I hate taxes with a passion. Now, down in Argentina, the new president is cutting government and also raising taxes. And he's saying that in 1 year, they can fix all of their economic problems and to set them on a course. Set them on a course of correction. Now, I hate taxes. But would you, I'm going to ask you this question honestly, would you accept higher taxes if you knew that in 1 year, all of our country's problems would be wiped out? Gee, the problem is Trump could be shot in the head like JFK if Trump is reelected. We could end up with a Democrat House and Senate in 2 years, 2026. And everything Trump is doing would be wiped out. So we will have, paid extra money just so they could spend it all on us. I'm afraid to give the government a fucking nickel because I know what they're going to do with it. They're going to say, see this nickel, it's actually $1 and we're spending all of it. That's what they do. I really hope and want to see what Mr. Javier does down in Argentina and if it can stick. Now, if President Trump were to remove the bureaucracy, if he were to say, IRS, go fuck yourselves. It's bureaucracy. FBI, CIA, IRS, ATF, DHS, NSA, all you people can collect your unemployment and get the fuck out of Washington. I think that would be great. Socialist folks worldwide are terrified of people like Javier Milei. And I think President Trump, folks, I think he is equally feared. But imagine if he actually had done something like drain the swamp instead of continuously going, why is it when I turn around, everyone's got a dagger out? And they say it's for everyone else, but I keep feeling them in my back. Unbelievable. Oh, by the way, it is a Manic Monday. Get your questions down below. We've got, that's right, Jolene back in the house. She apparently she got a free ride on Elon Musk's rocket to Mars, but she didn't get the Jim Jones juice and got kicked off the rocket. Ooman is in the house. He's in the mobile command center somewhere down in Florida. I'm hoping that maybe this weekend I can escape down there too. Anyways, it is the holidays, folks. Are you prepared for more holiday SHTF? I sure hope you are. And it is becoming more contentious in mainstream politics with mainstream media and mainstream candidates. Vivek Ramaswamy, the Republican, went off, blasted off, told off Van Jones, the clean, articulate speaking guy, who's also a communist, because this communist whined about Vivek exposing Democrats trying to replace Americans with illegals. And so Vivek had this to say to Van Jones: shut the fuck up. Real STFUs, folks, for lying communists. And I think you should be generous this year and give as many STFUs as you can. Be generous with your family and friends who are degenerates, Democrats, socialists, and slobs. Give them the big STFU. I can't wait. It's becoming such a mainstream expression now. Shut the fuck up. It ought to be on more coffee cups and even Hallmark Christmas cards. Wow. And speaking, folks, of, Jolene and not having the Jim Jones juice and going on Elon Musk's rocket ship, someone in the honor guard collapsed. You know what the honor guard is, right? For funerals and special occasions, the military puts their finest drill, that is people that are not drilling holes in wood. Drill means marching, standing in formation, performing facing movements, all ceremonial military drill. The honor guard, one of them collapsed. That is, fell out, wiped out, passed out in front of the casket of Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. I'm going to give you two options, and you can take a wild, wild guess. Dun, dun, dun. Take a wild guess. Is it the Jim Jones juice, or could someone who is trained professionally as a military drilling master, they can stand there at attention for hours without passing out? Now, say, I always heard that people in formation, even Marines, can pass out, but I never, ever once saw it. I just heard that if you lock your knees and don't move long enough, you can pass out. Never seen it, but someone who is an honor guard, in fact, this was Army honor guard, they ought to be well drilled, well skilled, well practiced, but he passed out. Take a wild guess. What an awful fail. But then again, our military is being led by a bunch of cultural, legal, educational, military failures. And speaking of failures, Former Republican representative to the House of Representatives, George Santos. He is not dead, folks. In fact, he came out today and intimated. You could say he gave a clue, maybe made a hint that there are cages inside some of the House Republican offices. And by cages, we're talking about sex cages, folks. And it figures. The fucking fat LGB freaks, right? Name withheld there. We need Santos to name the names. Don't cower like a cawthorn and not say anything and leave America in the dark. Don't disappear forever, Mr. Santos. Expose these freaks. Hell, they're exposing themselves doing gay porn in the Senate chamber. These freaks, folks, are exactly that. George Santos, tell the truth, buddy. The truth will set you free. Tell the truth. You're no longer in Congress. You don't have to worry about getting kicked out and expelled for an accusation, not because of proven facts. We have proven facts. You can listen to Representative Swallowswell. You can listen to Shitty I Shit My Pants Schiff lie all day, and they won't kick him out. Good golly, I tell you, folks. Now, back to Elon Musk. Back to Elon Musk. In the European Union Commission, they have formally started 1984 Orwellian speech crime proceedings against Elon Musk, or rather against X-Twitter. And I think the whole world just likes to call it X-Twitter now because it makes more sense than to just say X. Anyways, they're going to open up because Elon Musk, or X-Twitter, did not give in to the European Union's demand for censorship. Now, it's amazing to me that America and Americans' free speech concepts are not accepted by socialist European tyrants. I'm amazed that they think that censorship works and it's good. Hell, I'll tell you what, America, Washington, D.C. tyrants don't like your rights either. So I've come up with a new way to describe the war, the political battle that we are having with censors, liars, bureaucrats, and lawyers. And we need to use bullets of philosophy that penetrate their bunkers and shields of bullshit. Why bullets of philosophy? Well, because bullets penetrate, pass through, destroy. So bullets of philosophy, folks, penetrate their lies, destroy their lies and their story and their narratives and their agenda. We need to use more bullets of philosophy, folks, to go after these people. Bullets always win wars. Sticks and stones can break some bones, but bullets of philosophy tear apart their bullshit. I'm telling you, folks, keep it up. I'm glad that you are doing it too. I mean, you want to hear some bullshit? You want to hear some amazing shit? Jen Circle Jerk Psaki. Remember her, the ginger liar in chief for Joe Biden's first year? So Jen Circle Back Psaki has hinted, speaking of hints, that Hunter Biden, he should just disappear. And he should stop talking because Joe Biden's poll numbers are in the toilet and they're circling and going down. Isn't this incredible? Someone in her position in mainstream media with a political background suggests fleeing the country, fleeing federal prosecution, looking extra guilty and committing crimes is better than having Joe Biden get his ass kicked in the coming election. They all know what's happening. In fact, it was pretty fucking funny. listening to Joe Biden. When someone asked him why his numbers are going down in the polls, he had a pretty clever response, especially for Joe. In fact, I think it was one of Joe's stand-ins because he was remarkably coherent. But even a fake Joe Biden, all he could say is, "You're reading the wrong polls." No, Joe, all of the polls say you're a loser. But do not discount or underestimate lying, cheating, and stealing, because that is what is going to happen in the coming election. We have one hell of a war coming, folks. It is a political war, and it's coming, and it's going to be ugly. So let's see. We have presidential problems. We have congressional problems. I guess it's about time we heard about some Supreme Court problems, huh? Folks, I just love using the prepared mind on these people and bullets of philosophy that shred their bullshit. Now, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Oh, by the way, Justice Thomas is black. But the House Democrats, the Socialist Democrats, the Fascist Democrats, they want to force Justice Thomas to recuse himself from the Trump immunity case that is coming before them. Isn't this interesting? They want him to recuse himself, that is, remove himself from the decision. Well, Letitia James, who hates Donald Trump and is sworn to go after him, if Letitia James doesn't have to recuse herself from prosecution, and if Judge Erdo, long gone mentally, doesn't have to recuse himself, and if fat-assed Fannie, the prosecutor down in Georgia, who hates Trump and said she was going after him, if she can be prejudiced and not recuse herself, and if Hunter Biden and Joe Biden can be politically safe from prosecution for all of their crimes, they're politically safe, and those judges don't have to recuse themselves for letting it slide. And if Paul Pelosi, hammer-ass Pelosi, doesn't have judges recuse themselves when he gets tried for his crimes, and if Scrotus judge, and she is a Scrotus judge, Ketanji Jackson, if she doesn't know the definition of a woman while she is in possession of a vagina, she's got one of those. If she doesn't have to recuse herself for being a fucking retard, then Clarence Thomas can be trusted to make a sound and fair judgment. Oh, golly, folks, I've had the biggest splitting headache all day, but I'm trying to stay in a good mood. I got, well, you guys were there last night, tanked. In the middle of the night, I woke up, I had one foot on the floor to keep the room from spinning. Scotch works magic, though. I woke up with a giant headache, but I think I slept really well. Incredible. Now, we reported incorrectly last night that the memorial statue was being removed from New York. It wasn't New York. I was misreported. It was at Arlington Cemetery. There's a memorial there about reunifying the country, the South and the North and all that. Culture, folks, and our traditions are part of the law of the land. It goes God, people, Constitution, common law, traditions, culture, they're all part of the law. And they can't be destroyed because some woke asshole wants to make a decision of the day as if they are the law. We'll see if this one, how far it goes. A Trump-appointed judge, by the way, has halted the removal of the memorial for the time being. For the time being, I don't know how and why these people are getting away with it, but more needs to be done to fight them. And I recommend that when you fight Democrats and socialists, that you use bullets of philosophy, because they penetrate their weak lies and their bullshit. Unbelievable, folks, what's going on. Now, let's see. I covered, the White House, Supreme Court, the legislature. How about the sex traffickers that supply all these crooked, perverted, sexy scumbags? That's right, folks. Remember that guy, Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't kill himself, but according to a very good insider, actually did kill himself. Anyways, I actually have an insider to Jeffrey Epstein's death, and Jeffrey Epstein actually killed himself. And it was the prison guards who hid all the information. Apparently, according to this insider expert, right, it was the prison system protecting and covering its ass, not a secret cabal conspiracy of CIA operatives that went in and did it. It's just plain old crooked guards. Anyways, be that as it may, whether even that is incorrect coming from an insider, I'll tell you what, Epstein's legacy lives on, as the living still have to deal with the exposure of them having the crooked, perverted scumbags, having dealt with the shall we say, pedophile convicted Jeffrey Epstein. And who is it? Who is it this week that comes out? It is Bill Gates. That's right, Gil Bates. Unbelievable. A previously unseen photo has emerged, has been released to the public, with one of the young ladies that has accused Jeffrey Epstein of sex trafficking underage girls. One of the women is in a picture with Bill Gates. How interesting is that? Bill Gates appearing with one of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers. I wonder if there's a coincidence here that she just happens to like rich, old, geeky white dudes, or if she was actually one of Jeffrey's cajoled, coerced young women. Now, you know who could settle this right now? Bill Gates. Well, how about that, Billy boy? Pedo much, huh? Why don't you just come clean and tell us? Tell us you were good buddies with Jeffrey Epstein, that you hung out with him, and you hung out with his ladies. Folks, these sick perverts. I mean, imagine this. You're Bill Gates, and you're married to Melinda Gates, who looks like a man, and you want to fool around a little bit. Why don't you just go to a jurisdiction like, I don't know, Las Vegas, Nevada, that actually allows you to sleep with prostitutes legally? Why don't you just go take care of your business there? No, that's not good enough for these people. If we only knew all of the truth, all of the facts about Epstein's little playground for rich people. Unbelievable. We're getting close to the halfway mark, folks. I do my 30-minute monologue, and then you get to ask questions in the second half of the show. It is your show, folks. If you're on the thepreparedmind.club or subscribestar.com. $2 a month. Some of you do $5 a month. Some of you 10. But everything you guys put into the sponsoring of this show makes it happen every day. It pays the bills here at the bunker, and I want to thank you for it. But you can be here live. Like right now, we've got a room full of people in this chat live, and you can ask questions, put up comments, and later it will be released. Later, it'll be released to YouTube for public dissemination and thinking and sharing, right? Oh, internet address is over here. And I want to thank the people who are sending in PayPal, Venmo, or CashApp donations. Those are all down below, or hitting the super chat button and just bing, it shows up. Hey, here's $3. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for that stuff. Oh boy. Let's continue, shall we? Can you believe that somebody was fired because their car had Trump bumper stickers on it? Fired. Now, this is interesting. This person ended up suing over getting fired. His name is Gary Formals. He was a U.S. Navy chief. Okay, so he's a veteran. He got the Award of Excellence for his service. He works part-time and he volunteers in the state of Washington for the Park and Recreation Commission. Volunteers. But he was ordered, folks, to remove his pro-Trump political bumper stickers from his vehicle, his own car, quote, as a condition of his continued volunteer service and part-time employment with the park system. I find this fascinating. Now, I looked at the bumper stickers, folks. They didn't say FJB, neither in the letters or in spelled out fuck Joe Biden. Interesting, huh? In fact, it didn't say anything negative at all about Biden. No, it didn't. I could see them saying, take off the bad words. Right? I could see that. But here I am looking at things. Trump 2020, Trump with a 2 and a 4, a cartoon picture of Trump about 4 inches by 4 inches, and a he won, get over it sticker, which doesn't say anything about Trump at all. This is what these people are, folks. I love it. Now, I could see if he's in, he's working. He gets out of his truck and he walks to the door. And he opens the door at the park service. Whether he's volunteering that day or working part-time that day, it doesn't matter. He's walking. He's not wearing anything on his clothes. Right? They're looking at his private vehicle. Interesting, huh? Well, guess what? The state of Washington is lost. Interesting, they lost. We need to keep fighting. Use your bullets of philosophy against these fucking lunatics, these mental derelicts. And that's how I think about it. Anytime I go to argue, I'm like, oh my God, what if this Democrat I'm talking to actually has a philosophical point that makes sense? Will I have to admit to one of them that they're correct or that I'm wrong? Every single time, folks, they reiterate their ignorance. They go above and beyond to prove that they're complete dunderheads. Every single time. Now, when I have a nice conversation, folks, with somebody who's a leftist dingbat, I am very polite to them. Sometimes they have to get cussed at and made fun of. But for the most part, I like to be polite to them. And I'll tell them, thank you for sharing your opinion with me. I see I'm starting to laugh. I'm like, thanks for sharing that. Right? I really learned something about you today. I don't have to say I agree with them. I can tell them, well, thank you for sharing your opinion with me. This is my opinion. Do you want to hear it? And a lot of the times they're like, no. Well, that's just how the game is played, folks. But I like listening to them because they reiterate and prove again and again that they're complete philosophical morons. Try it. You might like it. I talked about this one this morning. I want to remind everyone, if you're an attorney, you can't represent Trump supporters. You will get probation from the Bar Association because, you shouldn't be helping conservatives. You shouldn't be helping Trump. Can you believe that shit? Unbelievable. Let's do this, folks. It is now time for the Inner Circle. Speaking of bullets of philosophy, You know what? I think all that scotch last night kind of fixed my throat a little bit. I mean, it's been scratchy all day, but I think it might be better. Now, it's not COVID. It's not cerveza bug. It's not monkeypox. Trust me. Trust me. If it was monkeypox, I wouldn't be able to sit down now, would I? Bunch of fruitcakes out there. All right. It is now your turn to ask questions. Jolene, I like addressing you. I've been having to wait a couple of days for you to get back from your trip was it Mars or the moon? Anyway, you look at it. Let's have some fun. And Charles Gentry steps right up on this Manic Monday and he says, any info on the mystery lung infection in China and Russia? They also used an experimental jibbity jab, right? Just not MR. You put MNRA. I caught that. mRNA, mNRA based. Well, if it was an experimental jab that was NRA based, right, that would be a lead jab. Anyways, coincidence. See, as soon as you say experimental, is it experiment by a government lab or a private corporation? And if it's a private corporation, do they have to disclose what's in their proprietary formula? And if it's a government lab, especially in China, do they have to expose their proprietary formula to people? They are like, okay, do you want a bullet jab or do you want the Yahoo Jim Jones juice jab? Right, you get to pick. One will kill you for sure. One may not. Take your pick. Now, we do know that everything that they've tried putting out has been junk. I don't trust them. I think they all wanted to try a little bit of that MNRA, Mr. Gentry. I think they had people keeling over in Russia. I think they had people keeling over in China from the crap. Now, here's my thing. I don't trust any of these people. I don't trust Russia. If I was in Russia and Putin was like, hey, John, I need you to take this. It'll protect you. I'd be like, no, thank you, Mr. Putin. I'll pass. And if Xi Jinping was like, hey, John, and notice how Xi Jinping has a great accent like me. Why don't you take this here stuff? I'd be like, thanks, Xi, I'll pass. I don't know. Here's my thing. If you've ever been sick, and when I say sick, I don't mean like a little scratchy throat. When I say sick, I don't mean like, I feel under the weather. When I say sick, I mean you're fucking sick. You feel like dying. You would rather die than live, right? Your leg is hurting. Your arm is turning blue, right? Your eyeball's falling out of your head. You've got the Jim Jones, whatever that shit does to your heart and your lungs. You're keeling over. You can't fight. I mean, when you feel like you're dying from being sick, you'd rather be dead. But you can live a good long time really, really, really sick. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to put myself in a position where I can't breathe ever again. So I have to be on a breathing machine and sitting in a wheelchair my whole life, just rotting away because of an experiment that they suggested I take. Now, they do have this mysterious lung infection. I have not heard anything about it. I appreciate you broaching the subject, though, and, of course, putting the mRNA letters up there. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And by the way, it's been maybe, we're getting closing in on 10 days without having any videos taken down. Interesting. The AI has quit fucking with us in the background. But don't worry, we are still shadow banned. We still have had all of our advertising revenue taken from us, except for a very small amount. And it is still you guys supporting the show guerrilla style. So thank you again for your great support. Mr. Uman, where do you think you're going? I see you get up from your chair. Okay, Jolene, who do we have up next? It is Jane Dixon. Thank you for your great support as well, Jane. She has a question. says this administration, meaning Joe Biden, wants $61 billion for Ukraine. In return, they will stop 1 million illegals. Ask for a better deal, Congress. I thought it was just 60 billion. Someone snuck an extra $1 billion in there, Jane. Now, my response for this is, why is the president withholding the fulfillment of his sworn duty? Why is he holding that? Why is he withholding doing his duty until he gets free money for a war that he is promoting, that is ostensibly rewarding Joe with 10% type kickbacks? This is one more reason he should be impeached. Trying to trade money for war to do his fucking job in America. He should be impeached for that. It's called dereliction of duty. And he is a fucking derelict too. And I really hope everyone appreciates the use of my language. I wish I could meet Joe Biden so I could tell him he's a fucking idiot. I've had it with these people. And it's a great question. It's a great thing to bring up. Why does he get to ask for money to give away to another country to cause more death, destruction, and risk a wider war in Europe over a country that was demonstrably killing and committing genocide in regions? Why do we need to support that? Why? I don't get it. And why does Congress allow him to do this? You know what? Congress should stand up and say, fuck you, Joe Biden. You don't get money for a war that nobody wants and isn't doing anybody a bit of good. And in fact, it is genocidal against the Ukrainian people. In fact, more stories came out today in the media that morale is incredibly low and getting lower in the Ukraine military because they all know they're going to get a chance to meet the Russians and get killed. It's unbelievable. Believe it. It's real. They're going to keep it up. They're going to keep pushing for war. Why? Why? Unbelievable. Okay, Jolene, what do we got? Who's up next? Name redacted. And he says, as relates to Jen Psaki, they keep telling us who they are and what they think. We need to take them seriously, including their past actions. We don't have anything else from name redacted, like any examples that you want to bring up? I believe what you're saying is correct, though. They are telling us exactly who they are, what they think, and what they're going to do about it. And I do take them seriously. Joe Biden wants another $60 billion to give to one country to fight Russia, a sure loss. It's a certainty. It is a foregone conclusion that Russia can crush Ukraine. That's not even using their nukes. Why are they giving them that much money? Why do they want, if it isn't to have kickbacks? Ukraine is the most corrupt country on the planet. As the Ukraine aristocracy, the Ukraine, shall we say, Bill Gates and the Ukraine, George Soros's, and the Ukraine, Zuck Markerbergs, as they fled Ukraine, many of them got caught with suitcases full of cash, European euros and American dollars. These people are corrupt, absolutely corrupt. I mean, Joe Biden admitted it, that he withheld billions of dollars unless the government stopped prosecuting Hunter. He admitted it publicly. It's been recorded. It's on YouTube, for fuck's sake. They tell us who they are. They don't give a shit what you know about them. Well, a bunch of secret documents in the garage next to the old Corvette. No big deal. Why don't you go, FBI, down to Mar-a-Lago and raid President Trump's house? And since there's a bunch of light in the loafer fruitcakes in the FBI, while you're there, you may as well try and figure out what women are by getting into Melania's panty drawer. That's what these fruitcakes did, folks. I do take them seriously. They are a bunch of sickos. Okay, thank you, name redacted. Let's move on if we shall. I don't want to run out of time. Charles Gentry's back. He says, everyone needs to remember, Old Joe got more votes than anybody else ever. And he got that from his basement. The last election, he was so weak, so sick, so derelict, so mentally unencumbered with reality. He hid in his house half the time. Half the fucking time. He held a rally in Arizona, a state that he ended up winning. A rally in Phoenix, Arizona that nobody showed up to. Literally nobody. Not a fucking soul. Nobody showed up. People would show up at his rallies, a couple dozen, and they would put him in little circles, and they used Cerveza Bug as the excuse. You remember that bullshit victory dance where he went out with, and everyone were in their little Cerveza cars? It was just candy ass bullshit. It looked like Hunger Games crap from Hollywood. That's exactly what we're getting. Old Joe got 91 million votes, more than anybody, more than even Obama, more than Clinton, more than Bush, more than Trump. It's just sick, unbelievably sick that we're supposed to believe this shit. I mean, just incredible. Were you guys, did you hear about the car that rammed into a Secret Service vehicle that was used to barricade off a section of Delaware where Biden was supposedly campaigning? There were like 5 freaking cars there. Some guy, apparently he was drunk, has been arrested DUI, slamming into a presidential motorcade. That is just perfect. I love it. Drunk Democrat driver slams into presidential motorcade. And Joe Biden was shocked. The Secret Service drew weapons on him. Right? The guy's in the seat car. He's like, hey, they're all pointing guns at him. Unbelievable. What is going on? A Biden fundraiser, a Biden rally. That's a contradiction in terms. His fundraisers are not fundraisers. They're fucking political shakedowns. All right, Jolene, who do we have next? We've got Mikey G stepping up. He says the question is, why won't they release the client list from Ghislaine? He's Chin Music adds in right away. Is Ghislaine Maxwell the only person ever convicted of trafficking children to no one? I thank you, Mikey, and thank you, Chin Music, for contributing to my good, deep sleep last night. Jizzy Maxwell. I've been calling her Jizzy and Jiz Maxwell. Just what a perfect name for a perverted hoe. And I really believe that sick bitch loved Jeffrey Epstein. And part of her love was getting him laid by young women. It's amazing. I'll tell you exactly why they won't release the client list, the little black book. Because Bill Gates is in it. Because Bill Clinton is in it. Because Barack Hussein Barry Soetoro Obama is in it. Because Michelle Obama is in it. Because Hillary is in it. Because there are Supreme Court justices in it. And because bankers with really important names, Now, all the people I just mentioned, I bet they're in it. I don't have any evidence or proof because they won't release the list. I'll tell you who else I suspect is in it. Jamie Dimon. Could he be in it? How about the head of Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab? How about the executives at TD Ameritrade? How about the executives of major corporations? Would you be surprised if I told you that Warren Buffett was on the list? Would you be surprised if I told you that Gavin Newsom was on the list? Would you be surprised? Now, I have no proof that any of those people are on there, but I bet they are. I would put money on it in Vegas. I'm not a gambler, folks. I only bet on a sure thing, and I would bet that all those people. And the longer the odds, the better, because the longer the odds, the more I would get in return. But it's a pretty damn sure thing that all those people and more are on that list, including people like Mitch McConnell. I bet he's on that list. I bet Kevin McCarthy is on that list. I bet Chuck Schumer is on that list, not based on anything other than their lying scumbag politicians. If they want to vote for children being groomed by perverted transgenders and drag queens, if they want to protect them in schools, then you can probably bet that they could be right there on Jeffrey Epstein's list. They're a bunch of sick fuckers. And that's why they won't release the list. Yes, Chin Music is correct. Jizzy Maxwell is the only child sex trafficking person that is a pimp of children or a pimpette who had no clients, found guilty of putting children into the position of being prostitutes. Yet she had no clients. No one is being prosecuted. Folks, there were a bunch of people on those fucking lists that did come up as potential names, or I remember this was a couple of months ago. And it just never got spoken of again. But I'm willing to bet, because I'm not a betting man, but I would put money on it, that every major donor to Joe Biden and Democrats, they are the same people who are grateful that that list has been kept from the people, kept from the public. Those people that are on her list, does that mean necessarily that they were having sex with underage women that Jizzy and Jeffrey Epstein provided? No. But it sure is circumstantial evidence, is it not? It sure is a major coincidence, and I think an investigation into how many times they flew down there would probably shed a lot of light. But, you know, we need to protect the integrity of the system between finance and Washington, D.C., and big business and Washington, D.C. We need to make sure we protect that system. Unbelievable. Let's do this. Let's continue. Jolene, who do we got up next? Who is in the house? Who wants to talk? Charles Gentry said, like I have said before, the kind of people money seems to favor are not the kind of people I want to have anything to do with. Money favors some nasty, dirty people. Well, you know, I know a lot of wealthy people. And I don't know if they're scumbags or not. They seem like pretty decent moral people. But then again, I'm a nobody. So when I meet them, they seem to be very nice. They also are people who want America to be free. These same wealthy people I talk to like low taxes. They want the schools fixed. They think a lot of the same things I do. They love the Second Amendment. I know a lot of wealthy people that have a lot of guns. Now, the thing is I don't know if it's just the kind of people that are rich, the kind of people that money favors, are not the same types of people that are tied to Washington, D.C. And I think that's really where it comes in line. And it could also be like people that are tied to Sacramento, California, or to the governor of Illinois, or to Kathy Hochul of New York State, or Gretchen the Grinch Whitmore in Michigan, right? The kind of people that are tied to politics and not just honest businessmen who have successfully gone out, and men and women like that work really hard and have done very well for themselves. That's different than these people who use political power to enrich themselves. They seem to be the very sick, and as you put it, nasty, dirty people. I don't want a thing to do with them. Thank you, Charles. It is an interesting point to bring up, though. It is. The further they get away from the earth and their humanity, the nastier they get. All righty. Jolene, where do we go next? Who is up? What do we have to say? What's the topic that's going to cross the screen? And it's Orlando. How you doing there, brother? And he says, hey, I don't think they're going to do anything with pandemics anymore, seeing how it ended the first time. But a cyber attack is definitely on the table. Thoughts? Well, I'll give you some thoughts. One of the largest gold and silver exchanges or dealers was hacked today. Kitco, called Shitco by Craig. Anyways, Kitco is down. You can't buy or sell anything through Kitco today. Cyber attack? I think that, yeah, cyber attack. I don't know about a pandemic being off the board. I think they like to threaten us with it. They like to use it to scare people. Right? It's still fresh in people's mind. But I'm praying, Orlando. I'm praying that people, that they understand what was done to them. And that if the government even tries it, that there is an uproar of go fuck yourself for the government. But cyber attack, financial cyber attack, military cyber attack, corporate cyber attack, banking cyber attack, it's definitely on the table. It is. I think we're going to have a banking cyber attack. Now, a company like Kitco going down doesn't bother me because I don't ever talk to Kitco. But what it tells me is, maybe they're just hacking their way in different places. You would think a company like Kitco that is very large, very powerful, that it would have a very good cyber protection system. You would hope so. Anyways, what does a cyber attack do? Everything is tied. Everything is tied to money. You want to eat tonight? Money. You want to do something tomorrow? Money. To get month to month, week to week, day to day, and hour to hour, you need access through electronic financial systems. Money. And that's, folks, exactly what we have a problem with in this country, is the quality of our money. I prefer, or I should say, if I had money, I would prefer putting it into gold and silver to protect it. I don't trust these people. Cyber attack, folks, they can erase your bank account. They can cancel your credit cards. We can be individually targeted by, say, a socialist organization or FBI, CIA agents who directly or indirectly use their knowledge to attack us. They can pretend that they are an Antifa agent and hurt us. It's coming, folks. There's some shit out there. Orlando, great topic. Thanks for reminding everyone that the internet, which was invented by Al Gore, right? The internet is connected and hooked into everything, and we rely on it. And if it's taken down, then we are taken down. All right, Jolene, let's do it. Let's do it. We got one more, and it is Who's Your Life 67. He says, they, as in them, they are trying to get as much money as they can through Ukraine, as in they're trying to dump cash into Ukraine before the whole money system takes a shit. I tell you what, Who's Your Life, I believe you are correct about that. That is just one more angle of it, though. This pumping money out there, putting money in the system so they, them, can get their kickbacks. Now, Hoosier wants to talk about gold and silver. He says they will put it into gold and silver, offshore bank accounts. Their money will be good. Ours are shit. That's right. They want to send money offshore, have it come back to them and funneled through their little kickbacks, their little private holes, their little private accounts. And they are buying offshore, folks. They, them, governments, banks, wealthy investment groups, aka American politicians who are stealing from us. And they're buying gold, folks. They're buying silver bigger than shit. They are draining the physical reserves. If you listen to anybody who is in the gold and silver business, watching the comics, watching the LBMA, watching Singapore, watching China, watching Russia, watching Poland, watching any of these countries, they're sucking all of the cheap precious metals while the dollar looks like it's taking a dump. It can happen. How would we know? How could you be prepared, right? How can you know? The only way to know is to stay educated, folks, and that's why I'm here with you every day, learning and listening and learning every day. Let's see what popped up since we just started the show, shall we? It is a never-ending drama of stuff going wrong, going crazy, going bonkers. How nice is this? Biden goes on a leisurely shopping spree in Delaware. Authorities shut down international commerce in order to have enough agents, right, to help the flood of illegals. That's a weird story title. How about this? Liz Piggy Cheney gave January 6 evidence to Jack Smith and fat-ass Fannie Willis, but refused to give it to House Republicans when they demanded it. We got problems, folks. Government corruption everywhere. Are you prepared to deal with it when it comes to your home? What happens when we start getting those knocks on the door, those notes left on your car? We're going to have a partisan conflict. It's coming. Chance favors the prepared mind. Are you prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense? Are you prepared? Godspeed, Semper Fi, and chance favors the prepared mind. I say it all the time because it's true. We're prepared. And I'm glad you are here with me. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Not bright, but early on 0 Dark 30.